All right, there we go. Hello, hello. John S. Rhodes here, and this is Greater Wealth Through Mastery. This is how to prevent objections in sales letters. This is a little bit controversial. My apologies. Sorry, not sorry. So, the very, very first way is to go in blind. Now, this is not what you might think. If you're familiar with copywriting, you know that blind copywriting means you allude to something, you tease, but you don't actually tell what it is that you are talking about. So, this is a way to blind out the objections, but it's different than what I just described. And here's how it works. What you're doing with blind objection handling is you're going to create this constellation, these satellites floating around the main idea of what you can offer and what is awesome and how people might object. Now, let me put that together in a way that totally makes sense. So you can say things like this. I'm going to give you a bunch of examples. So feel free to watch the video again, write these down. They're really, really awesome, very useful. As what you're doing is you're going to tell people exactly what it is that your product is not. You're going to tell people what your product is not. Let me give you a bunch of examples. Again, I promise this, I want to give them to you. So it's not being innovative or creative. It's not knowing technical skills. It's not having secret experience or a college degree. It's not building your own websites. It's not recruiting or managing people or freelancers or employees. It's not knowing how to sell. It's not knowing secret neuro-linguistic programming NLP techniques. It's not having great communication skills. It's not creating your own products and services. It's not being an affiliate marketer. It's not understanding what people want to buy. Obviously, I can go on and on and on. The key here is to look at your product, look at your service, look at your offer. Okay, that's a topic for another day. If you want to know how to craft offers, which is not your product, not your service, but the actual offer, leave a comment below, something along the lines of, I want to know how to craft offers. In any event, when it comes to going in blind about your product, you use the word not. So here's your product, here's that product, whatever that product is, that thing, right? So you've got that product and you know what it is. You're going to tell people everything that it's not. So if it's let's say you're selling baseballs. So here's this baseball. It is not square. It is not the size of a Volkswagen. It is not something in outer space. So I just made those up very fast, very easy, but there might be things that people care about or thinking about. You would address those things. You would go after those things and you say, it's not this, it's not that, it's not this, it's not that. And in the case of the offer that I was just talking about technical skills and websites, managing people, how to sell and so on, I'm talking about something as simple as traffic. And we have teaching and training on the Rhodes Brothers channel about the 3 ways and the only 3 ways to get website traffic. Hint, build, buy, borrow. But my point is that you don't need to know how to sell. If you know how to get traffic, if you know how to get attention and eyeballs, you don't need to know how to sell. In fact, if you think about this, it's very interesting. If you could get an unlimited amount of traffic, right? Not 10 clicks or 100 views or 1,000 followers. If you could get millions of clicks, views, followers, millions, then I tell you right now that you don't need to know how to sell. You can say, I've got this baseball, I've got the baseball, and there are so many people, you're flooded with so much traffic, you're going to sell some baseballs. Now, would you sell more baseballs if you crafted a good offer? Well, of course. Of course, if you knew trigger words, of course, if you knew the right way to position the product, if you did all these other things from a sales and marketing perspective, you would sell more. You would convert more people from being non-buyers. You'd convert them into buyers, from non-buyers to buyers. Again, that's irrelevant if you have enough traffic. So the more traffic you have, the less you need to sell, down to the point of, if you've mastered the skill of traffic, then your selling skills don't need to be that good at all. Obviously, if you can put those two together, right? 1 + 1 is like 5 gajillion, because then you're able to use traffic and marketing and sales to do great, wonderful things, crazy conversions, thousands, millions in profits. It's a beautiful thing. But in any event, backing up, preventing objections. You can get around a lot of objections by putting a lot of things on the table and saying, well, it's not this, it's not that. Don't ask me about this because it's not that, it's not that, it's not this, it's not that. You can do it in your sales letters, written sales letters. You can do it in videos. You can do it in person. You can do it in really any selling environment. But the key is that you tell people what it's not, and then they're like, whoa. And you know what this does? It drives a certain emotion in people. And what that emotion translates to is curiosity. So telling someone all the things that it's not, they start to guess. Humans have the hamster wheel. And it's like, well, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is this thing? What is it? And you want that question coming up. And if they ask you, you can tease them, you can work with them, you can help them. You can do that in the sales letter if it's something that's written. You can do it in the video, and you can obviously do that in person as well. And you can have fun with it. You can eventually, if you want, you can reveal what the product or service is. And you can do that through a very ingenious technique in your offer, which is going to drive up conversions pretty significantly. And again, if you want to know about offers and how to turn offers to pure gold, let me know in the comments below. We'd love to help you out with that. I'd love to shoot a video on it. So that's like level 1, going in blind and talking about everything that it's not. Level 2, and this is where we end, right? We've got level 1, level 2. Level 2 is what I call benefit flipping. So we're going to build on the idea of going in blind and saying, well, it's not this and it's not that. And you take what it's not, and then you flip what it's not into a selling point about what it is. Let me give you several examples because it might not be totally clear. And by the way, again, I strongly encourage you to go back and either watch the whole video again or watch this section, because the language matters. It really, truly matters and will help you out tremendously. All right, so you might say it's not expensive. So maybe in your sales letter, you're talking about all the value. It's, got the value, not the price, the value of $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. You're talking about the crazy, wild, insane value that it's got. Okay, but you can say it's not expensive. And you're saying that really in relation to what the value is. It's not expensive. So how do you benefit flip? So you would say something like, you don't need a big budget to get started. And then you can elaborate if you want. You can say something along the lines of, it's not even going to cost you $500. And then you could continue from there. It's not even going to cost you $500. In fact, it's not even going to cost you $197. It's far less than that. Now, you know that it's $47, but you anchor people to the 500, and then you immediately give them a bonus, a big yip. Awesome, great, wonderful, knocking it down to 197, and you can continue doing that. And then you can continue on in your sales letter, then come back and go, ta-da, it's actually today just $47. And that means that it's 90% off, which is absolutely true. And by the way, you would only be saying something like that if the value was truly $10,000. So if it's something that's like $100 of value, you don't want to be doing something like that where you're like, wow, it's 90% off and it's $50. It's like, wait, that doesn't resonate. That doesn't fit. So make sure you know the value, the true value, know your numbers, know what it's worth, know how it works. That's how you can use the it's not expensive benefit flip. You go from saying it's not something, it's not expensive, and then you outline exactly how that works. Let me give you another one. It's not time consuming. It's like, well, okay, well, that could mean that it takes me a day versus a week. They don't know until you flip the benefit, right? So you turn it around, you say, yeah, it's not time consuming at all. You can do it in just 30 minutes a day. So that's how you flip it around. You can say, hey, normally, so maybe you're leading up to this. You can say, normally, if you want to produce a video and edit it and have the jump cuts in there and the graphics and the icons because you're a video producer and this is all about video production and you're going on and on about that, and you have a video production widget or service or software or AI. So you might be talking about this process, right? And you're like, well, it's not time consuming. You can do a week's worth of video editing in just 30 minutes. In fact, it's not even 30 minutes a day, it's 30 minutes one day per week. What would normally take you an hour or two per day, every single week, nonstop, hamster wheel, grinding away, smashing the head against the wall, right? No fun. This just takes you 20 to 30 minutes one day per week, and you can do it in bulk. It's so easy. So you can back up saying it's not time consuming like the old way, right? So you can juxtapose. You can flip it around, compare and contrast to those things that are normally done in your market. And this is very, very powerful. Let me give you another example. It's not complicated. Now, a lot of people hear something like it's not expensive and they think cheap. Well, how cheap is cheap? Well, it's always in relation to something. It's not time consuming. Well, what's a lot of time? Is it a week? Is it an hour? Is it a minute? Like what's a lot of time? Well, similar thing with it's not complicated. Well, what's the opposite of it's not complicated? It's simple. Yeah, right. Tell me, if you say it's not complicated, it's not complicated. That means it's easy, but how easy? Easy in what way? Outline, explain, delineate what simple actually means. Anyone can follow the simple steps. In fact, rather than what other people do, giving you 7 steps and taking 5 hours, our secret process will be revealed to you to only be 3 simple steps with the help of this software that does all this other work for you as well. So you see, you can compare and contrast, juxtapose with someone else, something else, another process, other people, other tools. You can name them or not. Usually it's not worth naming and giving them any airtime at all, but you can set things up. You can create a frame, and then people can work mentally within the frame that you create of what is complicated and what's not complicated, what's simple and what's more simple, what's more beneficial, what works even better. So it's not complicated, it's simple. Let me show you how. Now you might do this in the written word. You might say, let me show you how. And why would I say that? I would say that because I can mentally paint the picture for you and implant it in your head. Let me show you how. It's so easy. Paint by numbers. 1, 2, 3. So you do this, and you do this. And with the special software, none of these other things need to be done anymore. They're done automatically for you with a click of a button. And in fact, that's the third and final step that takes literally seconds. You click the button. So you first do this, you do this, and then the 1 second step of clicking the button, it's the third step. So really there are only 2 steps, and they take far less than 30 minutes in a day to handle all of the videos that would normally take you an entire week, 30 to 60 minutes a day. So the words that I'm using, I hope you recognize this, the language or the words that I'm using are the exact same words, the language that you would use on your sales letter. You don't want to get more complicated. You don't want to add unnatural language to your sales letter. It's as if you're speaking to an individual, almost like you're having a conversation, much like we are now. As I am speaking, as I'm going through these examples, it feels very one-to-one. And you want to know why it's one-to-one? It's deliberate because I am speaking to you one-to-one, even though I know that hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of individuals will be watching this video as well. But you are who I'm speaking to. It's a one-to-one experience. So what's in your mind is going to be different than what's in everyone else's mind based on what I said, but I'm still speaking to you as if it's a conversation and you're asking things, you're wondering, you're questioning, like what comes next? Well, what comes next is another benefit flip. It's not a scam. And you can say, I'm sure you've seen before all the people who have said these things about it being fast, it being cheap, or it being affordable, it not taking a lot of time, it just being so simple and straightforward, but it's not. Well, this is not a scam like them. This is radically different, and let me prove it to you. So how would you prove that? Well, the best way to prove something not being a scam, like what other people do, okay, would be something along the lines of, thousands of people have used this software and this simple 3-step process with real success. Let me show you. There's that idea again of showing you and visualizing, so come in close so you can hear me explain this, right? So you say show, you say hear, and you explain. And then what you do is you show your social proof. You show testimonials from customers. Maybe you have a short video that you embed on that written sales page. Maybe you explain how a particular celebrity or influencer that's well known and well liked, how they've used it. You can talk about certain businesses. You can show logos on the page. There are so many ways to describe, discuss, demonstrate the social proof, the value. And if you want to know more about social proof and how to, convey the power of social proof on a sales letter and what that really means, or in a video, please let me know in the comments below. But that's how you overcome that objection, by doing a benefit flip of something like, it's a scam, I don't believe you, that's ridiculous, I've heard this a million times. And then let's do one more, because these are so useful to hear and go through and get the examples, right? And if you agree, hit that ding, 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 right? Hit the thumbs up, and even better, subscribe to the channel if you want more great videos like this. Okay, so another objection that you can handle ahead of time, how to prevent an objection, because it's already in someone's mind. It's like, it seems risky. And they have different reasons. Your prospects, right? The people who have not bought, they all have their different reasons for why they think something would be risky. I don't trust you. It's going to cost too much money. I've tried this before. So that's part of the benefit flipping that we're doing. It's too expensive. It takes too long. It's too complicated. It's a scam. I've already covered those. Well, this one is, it's just blankly, it's too risky. So in that case, risk is a matter of risk reversal. So if you expect, and you should expect, if you expect risk, then you need to think about risk reversal, undoing the risk. And you need to take the risk from them, the risk that they feel, and you want that risk on your shoulders. You want that risk. You want to take on the risk. You want to make sure that they understand, who's ever reading this, that one person reading your sales letter, you want to know that you have taken on that risk, and it's on your shoulders. And how do you do that? You can say something as simple as, we offer a 100% money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. That's very generic, very straightforward, very easy. You can caveat it by, say, 7 days, right? It could be a 30-day money-back guarantee. It could be a 1-year, 100% money-back guarantee, and so on and so on. There's many ways to do really, really great guarantees. And like everything else that I do in these videos, if you're interested in how to craft awesome money back guarantees or guarantees in general, by all means, down in the comments below, let me know that you want to know more about guarantees. Now, don't leave yet until I point something out. In the next video, I guarantee that you have an opportunity for a breakthrough. So I strongly encourage you to go to that video, check it out, and see how everything about how to prevent objections in sales letters and other places as well, how that resonates and how that makes sense in that next video. And I do appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Check out that video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video. John S. Rhodes signing off. Take care.